Saudi Arabia by Eddie Ellington. Saudi Arabia is a very important country throughout the Middle East. Unfortunately, Saudi Arabia is always in the middle of some kind of trouble considering its involvement with Yemen, Al-Qaeda, the AQAP, and not to mention the Houthi rebellion. All of these problems come to them simply because of their location and because they are so much of a power in the Middle East. The information you're about to receive is simply why these things are happening in Saudi Arabia. Saudi relations. The Saudis are involved with Yemen in its disastrous state because of how close they are, and what goes on in Yemen will travel very quickly to Saudi Arabia. That's why in recent events, the Saudi government helped Ali Abdullah Saleh by giving him a place to lay low for months so he could recover from an attempt of being killed. The Saudi government knows exactly how important it is to get Yemen back on its feet, for the simple fact that they give Saleh an average of $1.5 billion a year. Saudi Arabia does these things to keep Yemen from falling into the hands of Al-Qaeda. With that being said, within the past few months, Saudi went as far as even sending out military that it hasn't sent out in 20 years to help prevent tragedy in Yemen. Riyadh wants to see a managed transition which has little instability as possible, and wants to see a government emerge in Yemen that will help ensure Saudi Arabia's security, and the United States and Saudi Arabia want to see nearly the same thing in the country. Both want to see Yemen that is not a danger to itself or its neighbors in Yemen, that is stable and secure. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and its involvement with Saudi Arabia. A major concern for Saudi Arabia is Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. This terrorist group that was based in Yemen and was formed around the time bin Laden was a threat to the U.S. and since then has been named most dangerous because they are spreading as far as South Asia, and because of the bombings that the terrorist group does all through Saudi Arabia and Yemen. The reason Saudi Arabia has a problem is because they are an extremist group of terrorists, and because in the 1990s, Al-Qaeda and Saudi Arabia endured economic turmoil because of the Western troops offering their militant campaign as a solution to myriad grievances. And not only that, but for multiple suicide bombings on 3 Western housing compounds in Riyadh, in which 29 people were killed. The Saudis and the Houthi rebellion. Recently, with the Houthi rebellion, Saudi Arabia has claimed to force them out, and the leader of the rebellion, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, has offered a truce, saying no more fighting will happen along the Saudi-Yemen border. The condition Saudi wanted for the truce is for the rebels to return 6 Saudis that are missing, and to allow the Saudis to monitor the border with no trouble. The reason for the Houthi rebellion is because the Houthis had some reason to accuse the Saudis for aiding Yemen in attacks against them, so without question the Houthis decided to try and fight the Saudis, when it turns out the Saudis had nothing to do with it. Saudi relations with Al-Amar. Chief Sheikh Sadiq Al-Amar knew, like most people, that letting Saleh leave Saudi Arabia to go back to Yemen because of his wounds from being attacked would only cause trouble. So Al-Amar wrote a letter to King Abdullah Abdul Aziz stating that there is a great chance that by letting Saleh back into Yemen would cause a civil war. Now, in recent fights, the Al-Amar tribe has no heart when it comes to Yemen after Saleh went back because of attacks Yemeni officials ordered on them because of their outbursts against the return of President Saleh. Though the relationship with Saudi Arabia remains mutual, their dislike for Saleh remains the same. Recently in Yemen, the Saudis are showing they are a clear support of Ali Abdullah Saleh, because recently Saleh signed away his rights as ruler of Yemen to the GCC after 33 years of being in charge. Once he signed off, all anticipation of bloodshed after this 11-month uproar is finally over. The final signature making this official was that of the King of Saudi Arabia, King Abdullah bin Aziz in Riyadh. After he resigned, Yemen held a big public speech deeply expressing how relieved the country of Yemen is that now that Saleh is gone. Speaking on how much smoother things should be now since he has left. Before Saleh left Yemen, his last words were, "The important thing now is to have goodwill in the reconstruction and the rebuilding of the country that many believe he destroyed." Where Saleh currently resides now is back in his most trusted country, Saudi Arabia, where the alliance between him and the king is still strong, along with the alliance of Saudi and Yemen government. Improved is that Saudis are agreed to help with the rebuilding of Yemen.